Hello, world. I'm Travis, and I'm going to talk to someone today that I ran into on the street as part of my ongoing mission to interview everyone on this expansive, flat globe. His name is Mike?
Correct.
Oh, hi, Mike.
How are you?
Um,
Nice to see you.
Thanks.
You look terrific.
Cool. You are the host of Dirty Jobs?
I was the host of Dirty Jobs.
Oh.
And then technically, I always thought of myself as a guest and not really a host. But you're right, technically. According to the credits, I was the host of a show called Dirty Jobs. Yeah.
Okay. So, as the host of Dirty Jobs, what's the dirtiest job you've ever done? I'm sure no one has asked you that before.
First time.
Yeah.
There were 350, and it's difficult to compare one to the next. But I think the business of getting the semen out of a turkey would certainly be in the top three, if not all the way up.
This is why you asked if you could speak at a PG-13 level before we started.
I promised your bosses that I wouldn't say anything that I haven't already said on the Discovery Channel, which is an aggressively G-rated entertainment property. I promise not to go any further than we went.
I mean, this sounds like, there's PG-13 and then there's PG-13 Titanic, where it's like, do you take a kid to see that? That's inappropriate. The draw me like your French girls bit.
Yeah. I suspect that probably happened on the Titanic at some point.
Well, okay, but I went and saw that movie with my 94-year-old great aunt, and I was like 13.
Right?
It was really awkward during that bit.
Well, what did you say to your aunt?
Well, you don't talk during a movie, but I kind of did this thing where you just kind of go, oh, like that. You kind of.
What were you looking at when you turned around like that?
My great uncle.
And how was he taking it?
Well, he was looking at the screen.
Bet he was.
So, any cool stories from Dirty Jobs?
No, none.
Wow, really?
You want to get back to the turkey?
Oh, can you do another one? Because, one that makes me less uncomfortable.
Well, season one was essentially an homage to Feces from Every Species, right? When we discovered that the audience was really interested in all of the things the network didn't really want us to see, that's not going to help at this point.
I shook your hand, so.
A weirdo, man. With respect.
Wow. Well, as long as it's respectful.
Well, look, you're going to need to guide me. I can tell you stories about the filthiest of filth. I can tell you about.
Do you want some?
No, I'm good. Natural immunity.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Dirty Jobs started in a sewer. The very first episode was me in a sewer. I was covered with effluvium, scat, if you will. There were roaches the size of your thumb, and there were rats the size of a loaf of bread. And there was just a giant river of chocolate disappointment. Slime? No, man, it's a sewer. There's no slime in a sewer. It's just all the stuff that comes out of your body and all the stuff people flush down the toilet, which is crazy, right? Because nobody ever thinks of that, but you got Q-tips down there. You've got feminine products. You have rubber products, right? Balloons, probably, right? And they stick to you, Trav, right? They cling to your rubber suit.
Why are they flushing those down the toilet?
Well,
toilets for going potty.
It is,
Yeah.
But a lot of people use the toilet as a kind of adjacent waste basket. And so a lot of things that should go in the trash go in the toilet. You see this when you're in a sewer. It all floats by you.
Because when you flush it, it disappears. They think it disappears, but it actually goes underground?
Well, it does disappear from view,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really go away.
So out of sight, out of mind.
Correct.
Okay. That wasn't really a cool story, though. Like, do you have a cool story?
Well, I opened the door to the artificial insemination beat with the turkey, and you reacted in a way that made me think. I mean, honestly, you dragged your old aunt into it, and then your uncle, and then we're in the Titanic, and I don't. So I'm trying to take, as a guest, I'm trying to take my cue from you. So if you want to go into the pure poopiness, we can say poop.
We can say that.
Can we say crap?
Yeah.
Good. So we can go in that direction, or we can go into season 2, where the network discovered that the highest rated shows always involved me helping farmers complete an AI program. And not the AI that you're thinking of, but the artificial insemination. We can do that.
In this modern era where robots are, taking over jobs, like automating people out of business, is that a concern for you? Is that something you think about, like with America, like, oh no, what's going to happen to us?
Not really. No, I mean, I think the technology's happening at light speed, and I think it's going to disrupt everything.
Yeah.
I think AI is going to have a bigger impact on white collar jobs than like robots are going to have on blue collar jobs. I talk a lot about that with my foundation all the time. We award scholarships for kids who want to learn a skill like plumbing, right? Electric, dirty jobs kind of vocations. I don't think those jobs are ever going to go away. I think they're always going to be, you're always going to need people to do them. And there's a lot of job security in that.
Okay. But hypothetically, let's say you're wrong and robots start taking over everything because they merge AI with the robot body, and then they're able to be plumbers. Would you then start following around the robots as they do the dirty jobs, or would that not be as interesting?
Oh, if dirty jobs were still in production and we were living in a world where all of the workers were robots informed by artificial intelligence.
Right.
Well, in that case, would I be a robot also informed by AI? Look, man, I'm still a people.
You're still a person?
I'm a people person. Yeah, I'm interested in people, and I'm interested in people who make robots. So I would be interested in talking to people who make robots, but I think I'd be less interested in talking to the actual robot, right?
Sure. Well, I mean, if you do, you could call the show Dirty Jobs parentheses with robots if you're looking for a title, or Dirty Jobots, if you will.
Jobots?
Yeah.
What's a Jobot?
It's a job with a robot.
Or, because my name's also Rowe. It could be
Mike Rowe Bots. This is why you're the guy. Mike Rowe Robots.
Also good. Could be Mike Rowe but robots.
Oh. Well, let's put a pin in that. We'll get back to that. Let's play a quick game before we move on. So I have 2 images here. One was generated by AI, and one was generated by an anonymous artist over the course of 4 hours. Which one do you prefer?
One AI, one anonymous artist over 4 hours. Well, at a glance, I would say the one in your right hand was produced by an anonymous artist over 4 hours.
So,
and I'd say that one's AI there.
So the human will wins again.
Well, I didn't tell you which one I preferred.
Well,
I just told you which one was which.
Do you want to have one of them? Like to keep?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like the one in your right hand.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I mean, I don't know who drew it.
You did this, didn't you?
What tipped you off?
The word broom tipped me off.
Broom is my Achilles heel. Should have known.
No, it's the fact that they're not holding a broom.
Well, it's a sound effect. Broom.
No. Boom is a sound effect. Vroom is a sound effect. Zoom is a sound effect. These are all called onomatopoeias. They're words that sound like the thing they describe. Broom is simply a noun, interesting in this case and somewhat conspicuous by the absolute absence of a broom.
It's a typo.
And that's why I wanted it. I prefer the mistakes, Travis. See, in Dirty Jobs, we never did a second take. We let the viewer see everything that actually happened on the show.
Right.
There was no reframing. There was no do it again. Nothing like that.
What are you trying to say?
Well, I'm saying that there are a lot of different ways to make TV and a lot of different ways to make art. And in the end, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And none of this is a criticism. I'm just saying you gave me a choice, and I went with the one where the artist wrote a word apropos of nothing, a non sequitur. And now it's mine.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have a cactus. Hey, let's play a game. I'm going to list a few dirty jobs I just came up with right now, beyond the 350. And you tell me if you've done them.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
job number 1, Target cashier.
I have been a cashier in a movie theater, but never in a Target. So half of that.
I worked at a movie theater too. I worked in concession, which is unfortunately the dirtiest job.
It's not the dirtiest job.
Well, it is
In a
when
movie theater?
Well, I cut my finger while I was on the icy machine, and it was my first job, so I was really afraid to tell somebody. So I started serving the food with a bloody finger.
All right.
I mean, eventually, a customer went, "Are you bleeding?" And I went, "Yes," and then I ran away.
You're amazing, man. You're an
Thanks.
amazing person.
Thank you. Job number 2, Starbucks barista.
I've never worked in a Starbucks, but on Dirty Jobs, we made coffee. We went to a place called Mountain Thunder on Kona, the big island in Hawaii, and I learned everything I wanted to know about making coffee. And I did work as a barista there briefly, but never in a Starbucks.
Quality assurance lead for Call of Duty Big Red 1.
No, but I did. I was a voice in Call of Duty.
Big Red 1?
No.
This is Call of Duty Big Red
me
1. I worked on it.
What'd you do?
I was the quality assurance tester.
What's that mean?
It means that I played the game and I went, this is broken, dummies, and then they would fix it.
Cool. Yeah. No, I just sat in a booth and read stuff off a script.
Oh, yeah. See,
Over here, duck.
Oh.
That kind of thing.
My name's in the credits. So.
Let me see.
I'll find it.
I have no doubt.
Well, a little doubt. You've asked to see it. I assume it's because you don't believe me.
It's not because I don't
Where my
believe you.
finger is. Do you see it?
I see your finger. Yeah.
That's me.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, that's all the jobs. And now a word from our sponsor. Inflation is on the rise. The dollar is in danger of collapse, and an overheated stock market could crash at any time. The upcoming election is only adding to the chaos. Fortunately, you can rely on the good folks at American Hartford Gold to help safeguard your financial future with physical gold and silver. Diversify your savings with precious metals delivered right to your door or in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. Protect your retirement from a collapsing dollar and crashing stock prices. Call 866-835-0822 today for your free information kit. Text INFO, I-N-F-O, to 998899. You can qualify for up to $15,000 of free silver. Gold has hit record highs and keeps climbing. Text INFO to 998899 or call 866-835-0822 today for your free information kit. Again, text INFO, I-N-F-O, to 998899 or call 866-835-0822. In your way, in your own way, your job is really the dirtiest of all because you've done all the dirty jobs.
I don't know if I've done them all, but I've done a lot. What I'm most proud of, honestly, is that most of the suggestions on that show came from viewers. So the show started as a tribute to my granddad, who had a lot of dirty jobs. And we got that on the air, and then the viewers were like, "Oh, this is great." And I got a lot of mail saying, "You should see what my dad does, my pop, my brother, my cousin." Right.
And then that just
won't
kind of snowballed until you
was it.
became the dirtiest of all jobs.
Yep. Just kept doing it.
Well, then have you considered doing an episode where you follow yourself around while you do the dirty jobs?
No, man, that never occurred to me. I mean, logistically, it poses challenges.
Well, the Egyptians did it with mirrors.
Did they?
Yeah. They would set up mirrors in tombs to bring in light and reflections of themselves so that they could bury themselves. Did you know that?
I didn't, man. But I'll tell you, it's always good to learn. I learned something when I was in Egypt. If you go down in some of those mines, they stretch for miles, and the tunnels are so perfectly mined, it defies imagination. It looks like the only way you could have done that is to go down there with modern equipment, right? High pressure water and explosives and things like that. And this guy said, no, they did it the old fashioned way, and it makes it perfect. I'm like, well, what's the old fashioned way? And he said, well, they go down and they start a fire and they heat up the rock wall. And then they send down slaves with buckets of cold water, and they throw the water on the wall and it explodes. And it kills all the slaves.
Oh.
But the next batch of slaves goes down and cleans all that up and then builds another fire and then throws the water on it.
Well, I mean, that doesn't sound very efficient.
Well, it's not. It's certainly not good for the slaves.
Yeah.
No. But it does make a heck of a beautiful tunnel.
Well, I guess, it's a means to an end, right?
You didn't know that, did you?
No, I've never heard of that before.
We're learning things
Together.
in a conversation.
Yeah, I feel closer to you. Can you be my father?
I want to talk to your uncle first.
He's passed.
All right, I'll be your dad.
So according to Wikipedia, you supplied narration for Ghost Hunters and Ghost Hunters International, probably because, you have that voice. You did the voice of Darth Vader, right?
I did not. That was James Earl Jones.
Oh.
Sort of a...
Is he your brother, or?
He's not my brother. He's terrific. He and I had a lot of similarities, actually.
Well, the voice.
Well, I mean, we both make our living using our voices, but he had a stutter when he was a kid.
Oh, did you have a stutter?
I did.
Oh. So you obviously overcame your stutter,
I did.
right? Did you?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So is that what you accredit to your voice? Like voice exercises led to...
No,
Oh, okay.
no, it's just one of those things.
So when you worked on Ghost Hunters, did you ever catch any ghosts?
Well, I just did the voice, right?
Oh.
So I wasn't in the field looking for the ghosts with the ghost hunters.
That's right. Do you believe in ghosts?
Well, no, actually, I don't.
Oh, well, what's your favorite ghost? If
If I were to believe in one,
yeah.
I guess, Casper got a lot of play because he was friendly.
I like Abraham Lincoln.
The ghost of Lincoln?
Yeah, because he's a real person. So given that you are familiar with narration, can you narrate an intro for my show? I don't have one yet.
What's the show called again?
Travis Interviews the World.
Would you like it in the style of Ghost Hunters, or in the style of Deadliest Catch, or in the style of a nature documentary?
Wow, so many choices.
Right. I mean, that's what life is, right?
Can I get one in the style of Ghost Hunters? Wait
Sure.
for it. Ghost Hunters International.
International?
Yes.
There was really no difference between the two.
Oh, well then vanilla's fine.
I don't think ghosts recognize borders anyway, right? They just go where they go.
Well, they go through the borders because they're ghosts.
Sure. You want a intro for your show?
Yes. Travis interviews the world.
Travis interviews the world in the style of Ghost Hunters International.
Yes, please.
He goes wherever he has to go to find the ghosts who you want to know. His name is Travis, and he is looking for something supernatural.
Yeah. Can you say Travis interviews the world, though? Can you look into the camera and say it?
Yeah. I just want to make sure I got it right first.
Tonight on Travis Interviews the World, David Duchovny.
Sure. Have you interviewed David Duchovny?
No, but I'm hoping this will make him want to come in.
Okay, great. Tonight on Travis Interviews the World, it's the one and only David Duchovny.
Great, thank you.
You got it.
I'm glad you didn't ask for any money for that.
I don't know, man. Is it my turn to talk?
No. Siren noise! Oh! You know what that sound means. That's right. It's time to play the game we play every week with every guest. Name that tool with Mike Rowe. So I'm going to show you a tool.
How many guests have you had on here?
Yes. So I'm going to show you a tool, and you see if you can name it for 1 point, and tell me what it does for 5 bonus points.
Are there prizes?
Well, the points.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, hold on a minute. Sorry, Glenn, could you bring it to me next time? Jeez. All right. We'll start you off easy. What's this?
That's a claw hammer.
And what does it do?
It has myriad uses, but traditionally it's used to hammer a nail or drive a nail into a material.
Correct. Top marks.
Thanks.
What's this?
That's a crowbar.
Nailed it. But what does it crow? I'm sorry, I gave it away. It crows bars. I get it.
Do you know why it's called a crowbar?
Because it crows bars.
Pull it out again. Hold it up. No. The other way.
But this is how you break crates.
That's true. But the question is, why do they call it a crowbar? Because it looks like the foot of a...
Turkey.
You really want to hear that turkey insemination story, don't you?
I walked into that one. I get it. That's the secret. I do want to hear about it.
Well, say when. I'll tell you.
Ugh. I don't know. I'm a little afraid. So this doesn't look like crow's feet to me. This part?
No, man. Follow it all the way down. It's the leg, and the bottom is the foot.
Well, this just looks like a human foot. Like,
Where does this show air?
yes. So here's one. I bet you don't know what this is.
Well, I do. That is an adjustable construction helmet.
Ah, but what's it for?
It's to prevent injuries on the construction site, most notably to the head.
Probably should have been wearing one of these.
That's not a tool.
It is a tool. CD. Tool is a band.
You're right. It's a great band. Really great band.
That's negative 50 points. Sorry. All right. What's this?
Well, that's a very large and heavy-duty wrench made of cast iron.
Wrong. It's the Mama Jamma.
Okay?
It says right here.
That wasn't from the manufacturer. Somebody just wrote Mama Jamma on a big wrench.
Okay. What's this?
Flip it around. I don't know.
It's a cubit.
A cubit?
Cubit.
A measurement of length.
Yeah, this is a cubit stick. Cubit measurement.
Wasn't that like Noah's Ark?
Well, it's like roughly
The length of from your
forearm.
elbow to
Yeah. So it sits on your elbow and then it goes up to your hand. So it's for measuring the ark. Yes. 300 cubits.
Right. Not the Ark of the Covenant, but the actual Noah's Ark.
Oh, you know, I guess you're right. It's also a wand. All right, last one. What are these?
That's a small pair of scissors.
Wrong. It's a cactus pruner. See? That's a narrative technique called Chekhov's cactus.
And that's a real prick.
Well, good job. You got 50 points.
And there's no prize? Nothing.
That's all the tools in the world. I have a card here that says, ask him about his movie. Does that mean anything to you?
It does. I have a new movie coming out.
Oh,
It's called Something to Stand For. And I bet you're going to like it. I mean,
Oh.
it's not like the Titanic, but it's a good movie.
full disclosure, I did watch this movie. And I liked it.
Great. What'd you like about it?
I liked how no one talks with their own voice. It's just your voice the whole time.
What else did you like?
Well, that was the main thing. Like, were you like, all these people sound terrible, only I can do it?
No, it actually went the other way. Some very famous people in the country. I wrote stories that most people don't know about those people, so they were mysteries, right?
Yeah.
And I recorded those stories, so when we brought them to life in the edit, we decided just to keep my narration, right? And just kind of put it in the mouths of the actors.
Yeah.
We did that because, honestly, we didn't have a lot of time. We needed to put it together very quickly.
Sure.
And it kind of made us laugh to see that.
Yeah, my wife really enjoyed it.
Great. What's her name?
Her name's Laura.
Tell her hello.
Can you say hello, Laura, while I mouth it to the camera so it looks like I'm saying it, but it's your voice?
Sure.
Okay.
Which camera are you going to look at?
I'm going to look at this one.
All right, well, let me count you in. I'll go 1, 2, 3. I'll say hello, Laura, as you look there.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello, Laura.
Thank you. Now she'll love me.
And now, a word from our other sponsor.
Guys, last year I had one of the best times of my life. I went to Chicago, went to a Cubs game, but that wasn't the best part. I got to hang out with 500 Lutherans, and I did it on purpose because these are cool Lutherans. This is the Issues Etc. Making the Case Conference. Now, Issues Etc., if you don't know what it is a podcast and syndicated radio talk show. It features solid, serious, and substantive interviews with experts in everything from theology and apologetics to ethics, philosophy, law, culture. They talk about more important stuff than you hear on the Babylon Beat podcast, I'll tell you that much. Issues Etc. has been educating, equipping, and edifying Christians for almost 30 years. I highly recommend it. Honestly, every time I tune in and listen to one of their shows, which is usually only the episode that they have me on, they ask the best, hard-hitting questions. They have the most substantive topics and great guests. I want you to listen at issuesetc.org or your favorite podcast provider. Issues Etc. Expert guests, expansive topics, extolling Christ.
In all seriousness, I actually did really enjoy the movie. And I'll be honest, I was like, kind of a documentary sort of thing. I mean, those can be good, but you're never like, yeah, I want to see that documentary. But I watched it. I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad, man.
You have that element where a story starts and then you sort of find out by the end who it's about. And you got me.
Well, you get to figure out who I'm talking about as I'm talking about it. That's
Yeah.
what makes them mysteries, right? You remember Paul Harvey?
Yes.
Right. So this format was kind of based on his old radio show called The Rest of the Story.
Right.
So I called it the way I heard it, and it started out as a podcast, and then somebody turned it into a TV show, and then we adapted it for the big screen. And now for Independence Day, we took 9 of these stories. They're all super patriotic, and we go to the Capitol, and we share them. Yeah, I mean, you saw it, so I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
I did watch it.
Awesome. And in case anybody's watching this, he loved it.
Yeah.
So we got one.
Did you ever read Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince?
You know, I never really read the Harry Potter stuff.
Okay. Well, that book got spoiled for me, and I was very disappointed.
Well, then you know that life can be disappointing.
Yes, it can. But not your movie. Not disappointing at all. So your film, Something to Stand For. Mm-hmm. I know you don't want to spoil everything, but what is the something to stand for?
Oh, well, that's a great question, right? We all get to decide what's most important to us. So in the movie, I share 9 stories about some famous people who helped build our country. The stories are surprises, they're mysteries, because you won't know who I'm talking about until the end.
Right.
So along the way, I'm just politely suggesting to the viewer that we all consider, or maybe reconsider, those things that we can all agree on as Americans, and those things that are worth celebrating and being grateful for, right? So that's the movie. It's an Independence Day special.
Yeah. I think that sets it up very well. And we've prepared a clip. Wow, that was great.
I'm glad you liked it.
Good job, Mr. Rowe.
It's Mr. Mike Rowe. I think I've earned it.
Okay, Mr. Mike Rowe. So obviously it's a very patriotic film. I mean, that's kind of the whole point, right?
I think it's okay to disagree politically, obviously. Tell me if you already knew this, but in 1998, 70% of Americans described themselves as extremely
I do know that
patriotic.
because you said it in the movie. That was
do.
a test.
Right.
It passed.
You really did watch it.
I did.
But today, that number is only like 39%.
Right.
So what's going on, and why is it that so many people aren't feeling the love for the country? So yeah, that's kind of why I made the movie, because I do think there's some things, a lot of things left that we can still celebrate
To
together.
stand for.
Absolutely.
See. So going off of this theme of patriotism, what's your favorite patriotic film? For example, mine is An American Tail, Fievel Goes West.
Great movie. But for sheer patriotism, this is not typically a patriotic movie, but It's a Wonderful Life.
Well, I'm sorry, I have to stop you. I was trying to set you up so you could say it was your movie was your favorite patriot movie.
Even if I thought that, I would never say it.
Yeah, but like advertising.
Yeah, look, it's nice. It's nice of you to say it, and in no way am I comparing myself to Steven Spielberg. But if he were here and you ask him that question, and he said, "Oh, for sure, that'd be Saving Private Ryan."
Right.
Yeah, you kind of feel like, man, that's kind of douchey, right? If David Duchovny were sitting here, right, you ask him,
And he says X Miles fight the future.
exactly,
Not X Miles.
X-Men,
X-Men fight the future. That's the movie he was in.
right?
He was a pretty good Cyclops.
Point is, self-praise, yeah, stinks.
All right. Fair enough. You passed the test. Got ya. Ha. Any interesting moments while you were filming in the National Mall that didn't make it into the film?
When you make a movie, everything is super planned and scripted, and I'm not used to that, right? So, like Dirty Jobs, we never did a second take,
Right.
right? And most of the TV I've ever worked on, you never do a second take,
Like here, where we haven't stopped at once.
just like that. In this movie, though, super deliberate, scene. While we were filming the movie, these guys on these honor flights, you familiar with honor flights?
Actually, no, I'm not.
Old men usually are brought to like the World War II memorial.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Okay, and they're in their 90s. Some are over 100. Many are in wheelchairs, and they've never seen them before.
Right.
So their family brings them in, and their friends, and it's really moving and touching. And I was about to shoot a scene at the World War II memorial, and I looked over and I saw this old guy in this wheelchair, and I said to the director, "Hey, send the camera over with me. I want to talk to this guy. And they were like, oh, no. That's not, we were setting up for this other shot.
Right.
But see, when your name is in the title of the movie, you get to do whatever you want.
Mike Robot.
That's right.
Right.
So I said, no, come on over. I want to meet this guy. And we wound up having a really great conversation. Andy Michael was his name, and he fought in Korea. And he was 91, and he was there with his family.
Right.
So I got that in the movie.
Yeah.
But there were lots of other meetings like that that I didn't get in the movie because that's not what the movie was.
Right.
So sometimes, Travis, when you realize you've stumbled across your goal, but in a way that you didn't intend, you have to decide, what do you do?
Right.
What do you do with that? So we put some of it in a movie because I thought it made sense to do that.
Not to be dark, but I mean, we're running out of really heroic veterans, Like, how many World War II veterans are alive anymore?
Not many.
Yeah, my uncle, who I was talking about earlier, he was a World War II veteran.
Your great uncle.
Yes.
And the Titanic?
Yes, that I saw Titanic with.
And he's passed.
Yes, he unfortunately did pass.
How old was he when he died?
96, I believe.
Good long innings.
Yeah.
And your aunt?
She passed sooner. She was around 93, 94.
Still.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a run.
Yes. She looked like Aunt May from Spider-Man. As they say, with great power comes great responsibility.
I've read that, yeah.
My uncle invented it.
The one who died.
Yes. So you can't ask him. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to clarify something. So by your own admission, your film's presentation is inspired by the late Paul Harvey. Obviously he was an American journalist and broadcaster, and he worked for a long time. But this is a little awkward because I'm trying to be the next Paul Harvey, and it seems like you're trying to be the next Paul Harvey.
Oh, well, no. Look, I mean, I will never fill his shoes, but I am trying to follow in his footsteps.
It seems like you're just trying to be Paul Harvey, though.
I'll tell you a funny story, Travis.
Is it about Paul Harvey?
It is. I was worried early on that his son, Paul Harvey Jr., who wrote the rest of the story, and his dad read them, right? I didn't want to offend him by talking about his dad so much and by using the same format. One day, I got a piece of registered mail delivered from Paul Harvey Jr., and I thought, this is going to be like a cease and desist order, or some ugly lawyer thing. But it wasn't. It was a very nice letter, and he said, Mike, my dad is looking down from heaven at this project and giving you 2 thumbs up. And you know what else was in there, Travis? A very generous check to the MicroWorks Foundation.
Wow.
From Paul Harvey Jr.
Well, hopefully he'll be happy with my work as well, since I'm going to be the next Paul Harvey. And, even though you deny it, I guess we'll just see who wins in that race to be Paul Harvey. And now you know the rest of the story.
Hey,
I win.
Let's do that thing again where you look at that camera and I look at this camera and I say, and now you know. I'm going to put my voice in your mouth.
Okay, I like this.
You're going to look there. I'm going to count down from 3.
From 3.
Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. And now you know the rest of the story. Oh, come on, you can't script that kind of thing.
I win.
Of course you win.
Well,
it's your show.
Thanks for coming, Dad.
You're welcome, son.
My dad's going to be mad.
So's my son.
Oh. Well, you can have more than one son.
I can't, no.
Oh. Because of the dirty job vow.
Because of the turkey.